mechanical keyboards for the mechanical keyboard community by the mechanical keyboard community. Well, here we are on another edition of the board, and today actually we've got a full team. We have Gadgeballs, Yoris, and Sir Cheddar joining me today. And what's a little bit different today also is we're live streaming. So hopefully we've got some people hanging out on YouTube ready to throw some questions to us on the actual live stream, as well as, provide us a bit of feedback and whatnot as we go along. We've got a couple of topics already ready in mind. We do have a little bit of a time constraint today in that Kevin will have to leave us if we do run a bit over time, but that's okay because I think the other guys will probably still hang out and chill and get through topics if necessary. So we'll see how we go. How are everybody today?
I'm good.
Yeah?
How about you, yours?
Yeah, doing good.
How's the weather in the Netherlands?
The weather is actually quite nice. Yesterday was pretty bad, only raining and storming. But today, sun is out and no, it's all good.
Guns out. Guns out.
Sun's out, guns out. That's how I roll,
Carrying around the HHKB.
Exactly.
The big guns, the G80 5000.
Just flexing, yeah. Yeah, so basically that.
All right. Okay, so I think we are going to start off with a few, an announcement from Dawn, correct?
Yeah, so last week we had sort of said, give us anything that you want that's community shout out and so forth, and I was asked by ParityBit if we could do a shout out for his charity keycap giveaway. So what he's doing is he's actually doing fundraising for Cancer Research UK. There is a link to his actual site to his account on the site where he's looking to raise about £100 as part of a sort of thing that they do. So what I've already thrown up here for those who are actually watching on the live stream is the post, and here is ParityBit's actual page itself. So it's called One Up Jam, annual event held by the University of Birmingham by the Games Development Society, where students get involved to learn how to make video and board games and work for a good cause. So he's already there at 51% of his goal. So if you've got a little bit of spare cash, you want to help out ParityBit and his fundraising, please head over and check it out. I will, of course, have the actual link to that for those who are not watching the stream later on as well. So that's the first one. Well, that's at least the first sort of talking topic there. The rest, I suppose, they're not really shout-outs, but we'll move along. Shall we? Yes? All good?
Yeah, let's go. Yeah,
Let's do it.
go.
So the first one of our sort of real topics is let's talk about layouts. Now, 5 days ago, Jetpack Tuxedo put up a really great post. I read through this and it made me laugh only because I had already had these kind of issues for a while. Now, previously I'd mentioned that on Massdrop, we had already shared the link as well on one of the posts someone had put up explaining the different types of layouts, and there were fancy pictures with KLE that had, different color coding for like full-size TKL, 60%, 40%, and so forth. However, what Jetpack Tuxedo has done here in his post is he's basically said we have consistencies, but we have inconsistencies all at the same time. And I agree. A 60% keyboard is technically not 60%. A 40% keyboard is not technically 40%, and so on and so forth. And then you got these weird ones in between. Now, my question to you, listeners, guys here on the board, should we move ahead and look at standardizing nomenclature?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think ideally yes, but practically I don't think it'll work. If people are always going to be stuck in their ways, and it's like trying to start renaming common household objects to something else because it makes more sense. Sure, it might make more sense, but people, I don't think it'll catch on. That's the issue
yes. Now, except for very few countries, I think people said the same thing about the metric system.
I mean, all right.
Okay, well, I'm using the freedom system, so I don't know what you guys are using, but it's great.
Yeah, I mean, sidetracking slightly, in France, there is actually 16 national buildings that have a 1 meter, like a slab that is cut to 1 meter that has the word meter in French underneath it. And they were deliberately installed into these national buildings so that the people of France had an idea what a meter actually was in size, in length. Because when they converted, they were like, what is this meter thing? And they went, that is what a meter is. Now, we have tools. We have things like KLE, where you can easily make a guide and say, hey, look, everybody, how about we make this the standard? Because now people won't get confused. If someone goes, oh, it's a 65%, people are going to be like, is that like the number of U units? Is that like the physical size? Is it including this? Does it include that? It would clear up a lot of confusion, especially for people who are starting to get involved in more non-OEM keyboard layouts. Don't you think?
The more custom world. Yeah, it would help significantly if people, if there would be like a standardized system to name these, or at least like categories, if you will. Because, I mean, there are plenty of layouts that are every time a bit different, but in the end they fall within then the 60% layout. Like, I don't know. I think it's more a thing of categories than actual like laid down. This must be the layout, because in that way we're just gonna get so many different layout names that we couldn't even keep track of it, and might as well just get lost in transition, like lost in it, the same as we're doing now. So it would be like more broader names for the groups, like for categories.
See, like, I could see this working really well for people who are new to the community, because it's a lot easier to teach someone new standards than someone who's already has established names for stuff. Because like for me, like a 60%, it doesn't make me think about the amount of keys on the keyboard. I don't think 60% is so many keys. It's literally just the name of the size, more so than it's the name of the amount of keys.
But that's,
so, like,
but that's
like
okay,
60%.
right? But my point is, the standardization to that is what I'm asking for. Like, so if you go, here's a 60%, I don't care that it isn't actually 60%. I just want it to be so a 60% always refers to a particular thing. Whereas like someone...
So you can actually measure it in a way.
Yeah, because like if you mention a FC660C, right? Some people say that's a 65, other people say it's a 75. There's a discrepancy because some people are measuring by the number of U that the length of the keyboard is, whereas other people are talking about because it contains like the insert and delete key with arrow keys. And that's why it's 75% close to a TKL kind of thing, right? So I think it might be a debate for the ages.
Argon brings up a good point in the chat. I linked you the XKCD he's referring to.
I got so many windows open with this whole streaming thing. I can't see it. So
shoot, it's in Discord and it's very relevant.
Well, I understand that, but yeah, unfortunately, it's not something I can bring
if you
up.
Shoot.
Well, basically, we can like go over the basic of what it's trying to say. Situation: there are 14 competing standards. 14, ridiculous. We need to develop one universal standard that covers everyone's use case. Yeah, of course, that's what you want then, right? Well, what follows up is that there are 15 competing standards.
So yeah, it's the 14 plus the one that's a universal standard. Because people just are stuck in their ways.
No, well, I understand that, but if it's something that the community can actually come together and go, well, it'll make everybody's life easier, then that's something that we could potentially think about. So, anyway, let's move on. Move on. All right, my tabs are shrinking, which is fantastic.
That's great.
Now, so 3 days ago, it's almost like counting down to Christmas, isn't it?
Well, sort of.
Full Gavard Fulgavade, I don't know, put up a post talking about, please help me, MK, you're my only hope. Send me pictures of your keycaps, because they are looking to develop yet another database type website. What they've called theirs is Captopia, and the intent is to basically capture the different sets and colorways that are actually made by the different companies and so forth. Now, of course, we've seen artisan directories and we have seen some attempts to do something like this, but this is yet, of course, another attempt. Do you think this will be successful where others have kind of fallen off and died because of low maintenance or just too much data?
That really depends on how much he can handle and how much attention from the community it's gonna get. Like if he's getting overthrown or like so many pictures in, then then it's probably not gonna work. But he also, like, if he keeps the standard on a high quality, I think it's gonna be a very successful thing. But he needs to be prepared for, like, once it hits on, that you'll get waves and waves of pictures of key sets that you might already have pictures of and that kind of stuff. And you need to, like, put up just the high quality ones, because otherwise people are going to be like, what is this? Should I be, what's going on?
And I agree completely. And I think that the main issue with the previous iterations of this attempt are that the maintenance just isn't there. Like, even the Desk Authority wiki is like 4 years behind on some
and it's not even open wiki. Like, you can't,
and it's not an open wiki. That baffles my, that doesn't make any sense to me, but it really should be. Come on, Desk 30.
At least to a certain extent, you know, if users are up to a certain rank or are given rights to, But I mean, just, you know, quickly going through it right now on the stream for those who are actually watching, you know, he's got some pictures already. He's got names and details of certain sets, even though he doesn't have pictures. Now, of course, I do apologize if it's not a he. I'm just using that in generic sense. And it's great because they've obviously taken the time to sort of sort and set out a particular scheme, like based on colors, based on sculpt profile, based on, you know, the keycaps materials, and even compatibility, which I think is just going to be mind-blowing if he succeeds, because with so many of these custom sets having child kits, being able to track down the compatibility is just like that would be so much time to actually get that going as well. So, but I do wish them the best of luck, because obviously I want to see them succeed in their endeavors like everybody else's endeavors in the community. Now, there has been a question from Jordan about, is there a website for switches? And Gadgewell is right in that Desk Authority's wiki is actually very, very good. When I did
they might not be super up to date on all the new stuff. Like if you're looking for those Kale speed switches or what have you, I don't think Desk Authority is going to be the place to look.
I'm just going to check that right now, because they might actually still be a place where you can find that. I don't know,
man. As far as other switches go, you'll have everything from Cherry MX Blacks to Cherry MX Yellows, which aren't even a thing anymore, and they haven't been in a long time. So,
well, I mean, the keyboard that I got sent to me that I reviewed, you know, a little while ago with the Fuhua switches. I mean, I didn't even know what the heck they were, but I found them in Desk Authority's wiki, which was great.
Yeah, they're
But interestingly enough, the Beep Haha Josh from Pluggable actually has an insane collection of switches. So if anybody was to actually create a site and catalog and put that kind of detail in, he would be the guy. Of course, you'd have to convince him to spend the time and effort to do it, but, you know, you never know. He's a pretty cool guy.
I mean, Harrison also has a crazy amount of switches, and he also, like, does teardowns of them, like once it was so many weeks or something, but like still he also does that.
Yeah.
So I mean, he also could be one, but like people just with Switch collections are really cut out for stuff like that.
It's just all about the time, you know, and the support to be able to maintain it. Yeah.
Also,
how much time do you want to put into it?
Cherry MX Yellow isn't a thing. It's a Aristotle clone. that people thought were Cherry MX because they branded them as such in their yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's pretty funny.
Jordan, what link are you looking for? Are you looking for Destarity's wiki or some of the other guys'
I can
collections?
link that.
If you mod me in the stream, Don, I could link.
That would be convenient.
Yeah,
there you
I tried
go.
to link the XKC.
It's all yours.
It rejected me.
What?
I also can't
No,
do anything.
I gave it to you. It now says
Oh no,
remove moderator.
it worked for me. I'm saying it rejected my XKCD earlier.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, so we'll just keep moving. But good luck in regards to Captopia, and I hope it does get somewhere. Rightio. Moving along. Grab bags. Now, of course, this week gone by on it was Wednesday my time, so Tuesday US time. Signature Plastics held yet another one of their infamous grab bags sales. Now, the previous one, which was I think round about January or so, it sold 300 bags in 80 seconds. And of course, everybody was kind of like going, oh, is it really going to be worthwhile this time? And what are we going to get in the grab bag? I was lucky enough to be at work, and it was quiet enough at work for me to be able to hop on and try and nab a bag. And I did successfully nab a bag. Looking at the clock, the actual website did not refresh the option to buy a grab bag until 1 minute past 8 o'clock. So they would have been just absolutely hammered, probably getting DDoS like mad. But interestingly, after I completed my transaction in less than a minute, it was still available. And I was just refreshing because I didn't want to buy any more bags, even though I probably could have. I do know some people managed to get 4 bags, and in one of these threads, it's not this particular one I have here on the screen, apparently some guy wrote a script and managed to buy 32 bags.
What? What?
They wrote a script,
Aww.
had all their friends create accounts, had it all linked up, and basically just refreshed until it came up and went run. And they bought 32 bags. So
Well,
Wow.
I can anticipate that there is potentially going to be a bit of market flooding of grab bag materials. But
some flippage.
the interesting thing that they said, the reason why they did that was because they were trying to create a 60% Godspeed set out of all of the bags. And the rest of it, they didn't care. They could just sell them off or trade them or whatever. They only wanted enough to create a 60% Godspeed.
I mean,
That's some
honestly, that's some dedication, but that might actually work. I must say. I mean, if it works, it's not stupid, right?
Well, considering the
Stupid, it works,
cost,
it's not
right?
stupid.
At $65
Yeah, I mean,
and 32 bags, that's like $1,000 worth of keycaps.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying I find it worth. I'm not saying everyone should go out and do this next time there's a sat like on hold and they think like, oh, with the grab bags we can fix this. But I mean,
Yeah,
The thing is, Don, is that every person that I've spoken to that have bought grab bags and then subsequently sold the stuff they didn't use have all made their money back on just the miscellaneous stuff, selling bundles of SA caps or whatnot.
yeah, because people always have to vomit, right? Yeah,
Exactly.
It's fun.
So if this person manages to make their money back and then some, and ends up with a full 60% Godspeed, I mean, good on them, I guess.
all the right to him. Yeah, I mean, it's an investment. But...
If it's stupid and it works, then it's not stupid.
Exactly.
But now they didn't talk about this time having the glow-in-the-dark PM key for the $100 credit. But it turns out people have been discovering that in each grab bag box is actually one of these signature plastic pouches. So I thought that was actually pretty nice because if you buy one of these pouches, I think it's like $5 or $10 or something like that. So it kind of offsets the fact that the actual grab bags are like, $65 or whatever it is. No, $50 plus the shipping, flat rate 15. So I am looking forward to getting mine, but it's kind of sad that obviously mine will come significantly later compared to everybody else who's cracking open their bags and having a good old time. So
Didn't they get to Australia fairly quick last time? I feel like they
It was like just under 2 weeks, which is actually
So,
relatively quick.
relatively quick, yeah.
Yeah, but there are people who've already got their bags open
I know.
now.
Also, while we're on the topic, I'm going to vent a little bit.
Sure.
They need to make it so that their email system sends out the email prior to the grab bags going live, not 5 minutes after.
No, see, what I think is the email system starts to send them when the sale goes live, but because it's got to bounce through different servers before it gets released, and then it's got to get accepted by the server and then into inboxes, that's the issue.
It really should be like
They should do
have
it
the
like an
last
hour
email
before.
go out.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I do agree. It is funny because I'd already completed my transaction. I already paid my entire order and I received the order confirmation and then I got that email from Signature Plastics. But at least
Yeah,
I got
I got
one
it.
this time because the last sale I'd signed up and I didn't even get one. So, yeah. All right. So let's move along to some topics and I'll quieten up a bit because obviously there's other folk here as well with things to talk about. And we are going to talk about a new keycap profile. Who would like to take this away?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a new profile designed by the lovely man that also created the lovely board, the van with the road kit and the banana split 60, which he is teasing, but a creator of many things, and now he's going to create a keycap stat profile, like a keycap profile, and essentially his like inspiration comes from DSA, and he's just throwing a sculpt in it, so it's a low profile sculpted key set basically. Yeah, I think this is something that the people, like, at least I have been waiting for something like this for quite some time. Like, this is something that I can get behind. Like, it has that like slight curvage, and then just them sweet DSA style keycaps. I mean, it's all for me. Like, I like it.
Yeah,
I
so
like it a lot.
another thing is he mentioned that he does have all the profiles too, or all the rows too, even though they're not pictured. So if you see this and you're like, wait a second, that's only like three rows, or three different rows, like designs. He does have them all. So yeah, it's like a full set. It's almost like it's like SA but low profile, or DSA but sculpted, and the bases are like very Devlin-y. They're like very wide, and they have more surface area. So there's not like Grand Canyons between each keycap.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was trying to figure out what you were trying to say there, and I think just looking at the pictures, which I've got up for those on the stream as well, is very much like the G20, where the caps are almost touching.
Yeah, which is pretty close to what the Devlin is. It's like fatter DSA,
Yeah.
but it's still a little bit like there's still gaps in normal design.
3D printed currently, yeah.
That's
they
what I was
look
gonna
like
ask.
it. Yeah.
They look like they're 3D printed.
You can see the actual rows, the layers in between. So, yeah. But I'm assuming that once this gets past a certain design stage, the CAD files will go somewhere and they'll get molds made.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm guessing.
That's gonna require a Kickstarter campaign for sure.
But the real question here though is, who's going to be doing the production? Is it going to be a new person using these molds, like a new company, or is this going to be like, well, I paid for the molds, but you can make caps off them, like either going to Signature Plastics or even Devlin, or, you know, I can't imagine GMK would do it because they'd be like, no, you know, we're going to do our own thing. But is there going to be a new player, or is he just going to get them custom shotted and control the market 100% of this profile?
I don't know. Sorry, go ahead, Kevin.
He could do something like Mateo's doing his like low profile SA, and he's doing it through Massdrop as like a combo. And I'm sure Massdrop's finding some manufacturer who they have like a contract with.
Oh, actually, that raises a question also about XDA, because who's doing XDA?
X
I see
Chinese.
Mastrop, right? Yeah,
Well,
that's the Chinese DSA, right? Right.
it's
Yeah.
the profile that was that sort of thing that Keyclack had done.
Yeah,
Because I think
it's a
that's also
Chinese.
Chinese made, right? Yeah. So there's nothing stopping Evan from doing something similar in that regards as well.
Yeah, but it might be a little bit intimidating for him to work with the manufacturer like solely. It might be.
But
And
he's
I know
done
he
that
has a
before.
kid and he has a job. It might be easier for him just to like go through a company that is either set up to make keys already that the community knows, or to let somebody like Master handle it.
Well, I mean, Evan's pretty experienced now in regards to, the minivan and the
Prototyping
road
and,
van and the caravan kits and stuff like that, and getting the cases and whatnot developed in machines. So I don't think it's really out of his depth to be able to handle that. But I guess
No.
it's only time. And if he
Matter
listens
of
to this
time.
podcast, or if someone asks him about it because of this discussion, it'd be great to get his feedback from it as well. So
Yeah, it'd be fun to get him to answer some of the things we were wondering about. I don't know if he can yet. It might not be fully set in stone or anything, but
It's probably not really representable for when it would actually be casted, but
yeah.
I mean, just roughly.
Well, I'm just going to put it out there anyway, in the sense that I would love to be able to try out these profiles. So if there's any sort of review capable of sets going somewhere, I'm happy to stick up my
Wink,
hand.
wink.
Nudge, nudge. Cough,
Yeah.
cough. All right, well, let's move along now. This next topic is it's heartbreaking, but at the same time, it's pretty funny in a sense. Who wants to take point on this?
all right, I'll do this. Are we gonna do this keycap thing?
Yeah, I've got the picture up, so people can see
So-
what I'm talking.
So
what we're talking
Originative sells this keycap from War Betrayal, which is he makes like these Star Wars themed keys, but they're kind of like if a company like didn't have the rights to make Star Wars and they got a bunch of products manufactured in China that were supposed to look like Star Wars but were like off-brand. That's what most of his keycap designs are kind of based off of. And one of his is like this like neon lime green like Yoda, but it's like a pissed off Yoda. And in the sales
it's a
picture,
mean Yoda. It's a mean Yoda. It's not a good one. It's
in a sales picture on Originative, it's like a $30 keycap too. Like there's detail on the face, and it has like teeth and like the wrinkles on the face. And the keycap which he received is just like a blob. It's so. It's just like undetailed. Like the face is just like blobby. Oh, it's just depressing.
But it's not even just that. Like, I literally have this picture, right, which is the comparison between the sales picture and what was received side by side. The ears aren't even the same shape. Like the actual
No, they're not.
the actual product that was received is a completely different mold by the looks of it. You just look at the head shape and you look at the chin shape, like the structure of it is completely off. Now, someone had said, well, maybe it's been vapor polished and that's why it's kind of melted. But in reality, even if it was, it would not have deformed it like that. So
No, it
kind of looks like the mold was just like put in the oven and it melted a little bit, almost like that idea I'm getting from it.
it still makes
It's
me laugh.
clearly
Though.
not. Oh yeah, no, for sure. It's funny as hell, but I'm right there with you. It's
Now, the thing about this, though, right, Kevin, is there are people who are baying for blood, but I think they're a bit misplaced because they're poking the finger at Originative. Now, that's not who they should be poking their finger at, right?
No, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Originative received like packaged like keys that are labeled what SKU they are, and he just sends them out to customers.
I don't think he's gonna go over each one of them. No.
And so, just so everybody knows, he didn't do the casting. He's just selling them for the artisan who made them.
Now, so then in terms of I suppose, good business practice and customer relationships, what do you think should happen in this situation if people are not happy with the keycaps?
Riot.
Pitchfork?
Pitchfork. No,
I'm
Pitchforks.
Go for it, Gabe.
I think Originative, I mean, should be responsible for the returning of the keycaps. Like, say you want to return it, obviously it's not going to be like one of those. It shouldn't be like one of those products you buy where you have to like RMA it with the manufacturer. It should still be within like the resellers.
Yeah, no, of course. Just another thing I also like want to like, did this buyer also contact like Oko first or before this? Like, it's good that people know that it sometimes is a bit worse. Like, I got that, but maybe if he just contacted Originative first, then it would have been like, oh shit, like keep it. We'll send something that is actually what you bought, and we'll check. Like, they could handle that discreetly. While now it's like this big, like a big post for them. Like, I don't know. If you're, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, in my experience, Originative is really easy to work with, so I agree with you on that one, Yoris. Like,
I think it would be neater. Like, it doesn't say that he did or did not, but like, if you was like, yeah, no way I'm gonna do anything about this now, it's gonna be like, yeah, I mean, that you need to put it up, but
I think like this is a war of betrayal issue down the line. Like this should
definitely.
be Originative should deal with it, which is unfortunate. But then Originative should definitely go to war of betrayal. And
no, it's like that they are the ones at the bottom of the line. They're gonna get the most of this, but yeah. Still, like, I don't know. I think it could be handled a bit better, but on the other hand, it doesn't seem like people are fully blaming Originative. Well, maybe some. I don't know. Should be all right. He'll survive.
I've had past personal experiences with some War of Betrayal caps being subpar as well, so we're not going to get into that. I'm not here to disparage, but I'm not super surprised.
Yeah.
Well, it's really just buyer beware, I guess. If you know, obviously, where War of Betrayal and their products come from, and potentially mass manufacturing, cost cutting, that kind of stuff, these kind of things can happen, especially when there's a buck to be made. So, and unlike artisan makers who hand make every single keycap, and hand cast them, like for example with Hungerworks Studios, you know, these things do not appear to be in that same level of manufacturing quality.
No, and I don't think you could ever expect them to be. But yeah, honest, like, yeah.
All right, so anything else anyone wants to add?
A personal touch is always going to result in better quality, in my experience.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, let's roll on. And while we're still talking about Originative, we have the Hyperfuse Redux. Kevin?
All right. That's my cue. Hyperfuse Redux. So Hyperfuse, it's one of my favorite sets for sure. And they actually, Originative went forward with a Redux version, which is like a remix version kind of, and the differences are that the modifier colors are lighter and that the mods are icon mods. So those were the two big changes that I noticed. It's the same design from Hyperfuse, but just slightly altered. I think it's awesome. It has great compatibility, so it supports the base 104 key standard, and then when keyless also, HHKB 75%, 1800 ISO UK layouts. It supports 660 layouts because it has an extra 2.25 shift, which is awesome that they included it out from the get-go. And it includes barred FJs, which nobody cares about because scoops are superior. And a few little additional accent keys. Yeah, I like it. I mean, I have 2 sets of Hyperfuse right now, and I would consider selling one to get one of these sets because just to mix it up. Okay. What do you all think of it? Are you hyperfused out?
Oh, I like it a lot. I bought it yesterday, so
Well, that says enough, yeah.
yeah,
Oh, man.
I
that's
mean-
about all that needs to be said from me.
To be honest, 170 for a standard GMK set is not too bad. And for it to actually have the extra compatibility with the extra keys in it does make it a pretty good value pack. So
I
It's-
don't know how I
it's-
feel about it.
It seems like every compatibility. I might be missing something here, but it seems like everything that people would need is here.
The minivan
Mo-
support, it's not there. Nope, no
Okay,
buy.
yeah.
No.
what about
No,
Plank?
You're
no,
right.
Doesn't
No,
support Plank.
what about Plank? What's going on with Plank?
Split
No.
space
Nope, can't buy
bars.
it.
These is non-issues, okay? Nobody gives a shit. They'll have additional kits in the future, maybe for you plankers.
Plankers.
Okay, never mind. Just moving on. I hate it.
Now, I'm going to deviate from our list a little bit, folks, because while I'm actually here on the Originative website, there is actually an LA meetup that's happening, and there's details here, of course, which I'm clicking on and loading to, and essentially on the 13th of July, Originative are going to be hosting a rooftop meetup. Now, they do require RSVPs because it's very, very limited space for that meetup. But what's going to be cool is that they have 3 guests that are turning up, which is Andrew Cook from Key Chatter, Rama from Australia, as well as Ryan Norbauer, who created the Norbauer TKL case that was replacing the NovaTouch case. So it looks like it could be a fantastic event. So if you are in the area at that time, please head over to Originative and make sure that you RSVP as soon as possible, obviously, to be able to turn up to the event. Okay.
Yeah, so even though I'm a resident of LA, I will not be making it to this, unfortunately. I will be away for the summer, and I thought I could make it to this, and I was planning on flying to meet up, and turns out it's on a Thursday, which I didn't realize. So that's not going to happen.
I think it's because Rama is coming in for Seattle meetup, and their timetable is really tight, so they weren't able to squeeze it into like some other timing for them. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just guessing here, but yeah.
I was working on planning it a little bit, and so it's pretty expensive on the weekends. So
well, maybe that's just as good an idea as well.
yeah.
All right, so we're gonna do the giveaway draw now because that's where the placement is. So now, for those who are actually checking out on the stream, you'll
Is that
actually
Topra?
see what's happening. We did the 500 subscriber giveaway through Gleam.io, and the cap that we're giving away today is the Lavender edition of the 2016 November keycap, which I'm just pulling out of its little packet and holding up to the front-facing cam, which it's really hard to do because everything's mirrored and it's not in focus. But anyway, so you'll see the actual event has closed for the moment. There's 158 entries, and it's time to draw the winner. So in 3, 2, 1, drawing the winner. We got 1 winner to draw, 82 potential users. And the winner is Joshua Tan. Fantastic. From Singapore. So I'm going to send Josh an email very soon and get his details so I can ship him this fantastic cap. So thank you very much, guys, for supporting our website. It's been a really great journey so far. We've actually got 564 subscribers right now, which means we're actually more than halfway to the next giveaway of yet another Movember keycap. So I've got a couple left, and as I said, we're going to do one at 600 and one at 700. So the 600 one is going to be a Jadestone one. It's going to be a New Zealand Jadestone keycap, which I'm just pulling out of the packet right now. And holding it up once again to another blurry look, but it's actually got actual New Zealand Jadestone encapsulated, which I brought back from New Zealand last year. So we'll do another giveaway for that at 600 subscribers. If you've already subscribed, no worries, but of course, please share and let people know so they can come along and get that giveaway happening.
Join along for the ride, yeah.
Yeah. Now, so I don't have other stuff prepared, at least for the stuff that's happening on the stream, but we're still going to go ahead with our topics list, and I'll let Kevin direct the other topics because they're stuff that's been added by some of the others.
All right. Okay. So I guess let's start with it's just an interesting product which has gone on sale, which is blank palm keycaps from KBD Fans, which is a website. Okay, a side note from this. Actually, there's a few side notes from this. My roommate actually got his KBD 66, and it's pretty nice. So he's already built it, and he got the split spacebar version. He loves it so far, and overall, his experience with KBD Fans has been pretty good. And so back to the palm keycaps. Gabe and yours, have either of you gotten the opportunity to try palm keycaps?
No, I have not. Well, like, I haven't gotten the opportunity to buy them, but no, I have not actually, like, tried them out. No.
I have, but I didn't know I was.
Oh,
Was
okay.
it OG palm?
One of my buddies had an old DOS 2, and
Ooh.
with the blank palms. I didn't know they were palms. This was before I was cool.
Before the keyboards were a thing.
All right, Don, have you? Nope, because you're in Australia and shipping.
No. But actually, for people who might be listening and don't know what the heck you're talking about, what are palms?
Palm is a different plastic which they make keycaps out of, and poly something. Don, you want to do it because you know this shit?
I actually don't know what palm technically stands for, but it's also known as Delrin. So Delrin plastic.
Polyoxymethylene. I was gonna say that, and I would have sounded so fucking smart.
Mischance.
Yeah.
But Delrin
Okay.
plastic is known for having a very low coefficient of friction. It's used in sort of sleeving. It's used in sort of low drag applications, and it basically stuff bushings and things like that don't require or can't be used with lubricants, for example, as an application of palm. A lot in automotive and sort of mechanical fields. So, yeah.
Yeah, so as far as the typing goes, the experience of it, I've had 2 sets of the palm jelly caps, and those have their own inherent issues with how they were made, basically. But other than that, I got a good feel for what the plastic feels like, and it's definitely softer than ABS. Like when you bottom out, it just sounds like it sounds different. It's like a lot more muted, and the plastic itself is a little bit slicker and smoother. I actually, in two of my recent trips to eWaste, I found 2 Cherry MY keyboards with palm keycaps, and one actually had like a standard 1800 layout, which is 1.5, 1.5, 7, 1.5, 1.5 bottom row, and a 1.75 shift, and off center caps lock, and it was brand new. It's actually like really fun to use, and it's really interesting. I've noticed that so the palm jelly, for example, they're like super thin compared to the cherry ones, and they're not nearly as good feeling. But these ones on KBD Fans are actually like the proper 1.5 millimeter thickness, which is the same as like GMK's thickness. So they should feel pretty good, I think.
Okay.
I guess one thing is it is important to note that while these are affordable at 30 plus shipping or 29 plus shipping, they only support like 104 key standard layouts. So you might end up having to compromise your, I guess, layouts a little bit.
Not a problem for me. 104 for
Um,
life.
For reference, I believe keycap stems are made of palm, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think they are. I think I heard that when I guess like Cherry keeps the material they make theirs out of secret,
Or
but I think
yeah,
it's accepted that it's palm.
yeah. I know,
So in
like,
that case,
Gatherum
it's actually triple shot. Like every double shot is a triple shot then.
No,
Yes.
I didn't mean the
Palm.
stem. I meant the switch stem. Sorry, I'm
Oh.
getting
I got you, Gabe.
yeah.
I didn't have an O.
Kevin just like kept going as if I had said the right thing. So
No, I actually disagree in that, because that's the whole thing about the vintage blacks versus modern blacks, is that they actually changed their chemical composition in the stems, which is one of the reasons why the vintage blacks supposedly feel more smooth.
I can
It
believe that.
it could be like some. So I'm pretty sure. What the? Oh, sorry. It could be something like they changed like they added like additives or whatever. What are they called? Plasticizers. Like
Yeah.
they put in like different things how they used to do it, or they used to like the order that they manufactured it was different, which came out with different outcomes like for the stems. But I'm pretty sure that most like it's pretty accepted that the stems are palm still, but it's probably just a different type or a different supplier or something.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But if it's really
If
that
you
low
say so.
friction, I mean, we would probably find some caps wouldn't be as tight fitting, or be
Okay,
snapping
so
stuff off.
that's interesting. Uh, so as far as when I was putting the like brand new Palm keycaps I got from that Cherry MY keyboard, they were like when they fit on the stems, they were so like friction fitting compared to other keys that they like squeaked when I put them on. It was like weird. I've never experienced it before, but like every time I pushed one down, it was like.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
That's funny.
Okay. How are we going for time for you, Kevin? Because obviously.
I got 17 more minutes.
All right.
I think we're chill on time.
Cool. Move.
Yeah.
Well,
Do you guys want to, Gabe and yours? Have you got a chance to, I guess, learn about some of the Max Keys like font issues that a lot of people have been having problems about?
Well, I have one of those Max key sets, and mine was like already smudged, like the font. But I don't know if that's the issue. I don't know, but
What is? Can you give us a little like mini review on it?
it's an SA styled key set. The colors are very bright, vibrant. I don't know, like the quality, like the detail. I mean, I guess could be a bit better, but then again, you're essentially paying for a budget SA set. So I cannot really complain. And my set was given to me due to the fact that it wasn't like in perfect condition, and I don't complain because it's not that bad actually. Like some of the white keycaps have like pink smudges, and like just like 3 or something. I would say overall it's what you pay for basically. Yeah, you're not gonna get a flawless product in the way that your like characters might be a bit less detailed, but like the smudge thing, that's just like manufacturing, and that's not how they're gonna put it out. I think that's not how they. At least that's what I was told. So, but just like some letters being a bit less sharp, that's acceptable in my opinion. But
I think what people have to realize is that they're paying half the price for more than half the quality, and I feel like that's in itself is a good deal.
It's a fantastic deal.
But that's indeed something people need to like see. It's not like we're paying for an signature plastic sets. No, you're not. snap out of that. We're not.
Yeah.
Okay, so Signature Plastics isn't perfect quality either, though. Just
No, because if it
Right.
was,
No.
we wouldn't have grab bags.
I mean, even the sets that you buy for $200 have issues. Like, I was not satisfied. I got DSA Hana, whatever. Not satisfied. It had like visual problems that I was very uncomfortable with.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess
no,
if
like
people
I
started
get that.
RMAing it all, then they might kind of realize maybe we should up our game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I probably should have done that, but I just sold it. I'm like, I don't really want to look at this anymore.
Yeah, no, it is something to keep in mind. It's like the signature plastic sets. You don't think you're gonna get perfect stuff, like, because it's not. Like, it's good most of the time. It's pretty good, and if it's like bad or not on par, then they'll probably replace it, fix it, and like that. But you're not getting the cleanest, best whatever out of it. And that's usually not the case, at least for what I see.
Yeah, because we're too small, right, to matter to a signature player.
Yeah, well, that's the bottom line. Well, on one end, I can totally see that, and on the other hand, I feel like, okay, that's right. Like, we're in like your biggest market. I get that. Like, we're a little group compared, of course, to their like bigger scheme. I think because they're the only U.S. based injection mold company that does keycaps. Like, I know there are other injection mold based companies there, but yeah, it just seems like a lot of people think that like our group of let's say of the subscribers of our MK, like let's say 100K of subscribers, like if they bought stuff, like that's not a big enough market for them, I think. Like in respect to like bulk orders by companies that make way bigger stuff or
Well, it
stuff
would
like
it
that.
would be interesting to find out what kind of volumes they really do, or if they're just basically trying to pull the.
Just BSing us. Yeah, no, of course. Like, if they would be transparent in that, that would be awesome. That would be great. That if they pulled that, then that would really show their that they're like, yeah, we would like to put you up front, but you're not that big.
Well,
Like, I can totally live with that.
I totally had a conversation with Naf's Asp about this. He's his name's actually based off of a Magic the Gathering card. Interesting story. But he's a mod, and I got to actually meet him at one of the SoCal meetups. But he was saying that we should give Signature Plastics more like slack and appreciation because they're hooking us up basically. And I've taken classes on like client management and industrial sales, and everything about this situation seems like what we've learned is like if we weren't worth their effort, they wouldn't put their effort into us. And it's so frustrating to hear that they are like that we're not their most important client. That's like saying like companies like don't have like different size clients. Like you're supposed to like give like attention to each client to like foster the relationships, and I know they do, but the fact that they keep telling us that we're like not that important to them is like, it just seems like the wrong way to like approach these situations. You're not supposed to remind a client that you don't give a shit about them.
But did they actually somewhere like put that, like, you're not big enough, like maybe not directly that harsh? They have, yeah. Okay, no, I'm just checking. Like, is this a conclusion we have pulled, or before this shit gets like all downhill?
It was a letter that was written to the MK community after the Geek Hack basically tried to do a deal with them and say, like, how do we get things with Signature Plastics better? And they basically wrote back and said, well, maybe if you guys got your shit together and had one representative dealing with Signature Plastics and all of the buys through that one person, that might work. Because you guys, we can't deal with so many small players all the time constantly, because you guys are just too small for us to do that.
I think that's mostly what they mean, that we're small because every group buy they see as one client, and each one of those group buys then is too small.
Yeah.
But indeed, if we were as collective, which I don't honestly don't see happening. But as collective, we would do that. Then
That's-
then we would be.
But that's what Mass Drop is acting as. They're acting as that intermediary between the community and
They are trying to be that, but they are not there yet due to like
honestly, I
shipping
think
costs and all that. But yeah,
they're not, but they are acting as a good buffer because
they are really
orders through. Like SA Carbon has I don't know how many were. I forgot to check. I can't be bothered to check
like
either.
the base sets is over
A
1,500
metric
already,
fuck ton.
so.
Right now, it's
Yeah,
7,173 purchased.
All right, so a metric fuck ton of keycaps, and having Mass Drop as that intermediary between the community and Signature Plastics seems to be exactly what they wanted. Signature Plastics as a company, because I get it from their perspective. Sure, we have a huge community, or a relatively huge community,
But they just want to be able to talk to one person.
but yeah, it's rough when you have a bunch of, especially because you have new people who are up and comers who want to get things done, and I get that. I'd like to get a set made as well, but people that up and comers are really ambitious, and they'll message Signature Plastics like, "Hey, I want this. Can you make me this?" And it's like, "Hey, your dreams are a little bit out of reach, kid. Sorry."
Well, it's kind of like someone jumps into like the chocolate world of Willy Wonka, and then just gets told like, yeah, you can only have one piece right now. For the next piece, you need to wait like a week. It's basically that. Like as a little kid, you would not take that. Let's see.
Plastics gets all of these people going, "Hey, I want this made. Hey, I want this made. Hey, I want this made."
And they're like, yeah, sure, okay, all right. And
But I mean, this is obviously a discussion that could just drag out and drag out and drag out because there's a lot of different aspects that we can poke at. But we probably should sort of cut that right now because obviously time is moving on.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay. Not an issue. Because bring it just back to Max Keys because obviously that's the focus here is that the comparison between Max Keys and Signature Plastics. Max Keys doing really great, and Z Frontier's hitting them up and doing a lot of custom sets at really affordable prices. And font issues, like kerning, spaces between the letters and stuff like that, spaces between words like backspace and shift. Yeah. They're minor things that can be resolved over time, right? And they're still growing, they're still learning. So hopefully, if they're not going to get too up themselves as they grow and build, that they're going to lose sight of the picture of the community that's supporting them along the way, then it will be a wake-up call, obviously, for everybody else, which would be great. How are we going on time for you, Kevin?
I got 5 more minutes.
5 minutes. All right.
5 more minutes, Mom.
Anything else that you guys want to sort of talk about and say this week before we sort of start looking at rolling up on that?
I'm good on news topics.
Let's see the thing. I think we're pretty much all there. Like we can talk about I don't see it in the form anymore. Pictures of Plum, but I guess we're not talking about that.
Oh yeah, or that one got deleted from our list. We figured out the missing topic. Plum.
Okay.
We actually saw pictures in one of the Slacks I'm in of Plum. So just I guess to like pre-hype it, it looks really cool, and it's almost here, and we're looking forward to seeing all the sets. Did you guys get a chance to check those out?
No,
I did. The colors look mint and not in color.
No, I must say I like it a lot better now. I've seen a picture of it instead of a render, because in the render it was way too dimmed. It seemed to be, and now I'm kind of like, oh well, this is actually kind of cool. Although the purple mods or purplish mods, they're just still not really for me. So I'm not really that worried about it. I don't know. It's a cool set. Looks better than it did in renders, so that's always a plus. That's how I feel about it. That's really it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, actually, my roommate for my apartment mate at my school, he he got a set of plums, and our neighbor got a set too, who's also a keyboard addict. So I'll have two sets to check out.
Surrounding yourself with like-minded. I like
Yeah. So we feel less out of place when we spend absolute bank on keyboards.
Oh man, spending that cash.
All right. Well,
Uh,
anything else that you guys want to sort of poke at before I start to wrap up?
No, not really. Not for me, at least.
I went e-waste hunting again. I found some like Devlin style Alps keycaps, and they also had like lime green Alps switches. I also found some high profile Alps, but it was like random keys and random letters and shit. And I was like digging through like random stuff, like waste, like junk, and I like realized that, you know, I'm a little bit burned out from e-waste. So I was thinking about some like some puns, like maybe I'm e-wasted, or maybe I'm e-burnt, or I'm burned, e-wasted out, something. But I'm over it. I'm taking a break from e-waste, okay? So don't expect any more posts about Kevin's e-waste journeys for a while.
Is this the same where you're like, oh, these keyboards are great, this key set is great, and a week later you're like, oh, I hate this? Is this gonna be the same thing where you're just gonna like, I'm not gonna do this for a while, and then next week, guess who went back to e-wasting?
I need a vacation, okay?
I mean, I don't see what's not vacation about digging up old keyboards. It's sounds just as romantic as a honeymoon.
It's so much more. There's so much more to like doing e-waste stuff if you want to do it efficiently and effectively than just like going. Like, you have to find places, you have to manage relationships, you have to like estimate on the fly values, and you have to like physically like labor to get these things like uncovered. It's yeah.
Good for you.
Whoa.
Don, that space bar you're looking at, that's really cool.
It is, but it's $70.
It's $70.
It's $70. Come on.
Wait, hold up. What's spacebar?
So DD has wondered, did we talk about the Hammer Carbon spacebar on Massdrop? And I said no, but I brought it up on the stream, right? For those who didn't see it.
Ooh.
And I already knew about this, but it wasn't really something that I wanted to bring up, only because some people's wallets might start crying, and then some people might actually start crying because their wallets are crying.
Okay, how much is it?
$70.
70.
I'm lucky I'm not getting SA just to start with, so it's good. No, it's
So
good.
it's kind of in the realm of Jelly Keys, Constellation space bars.
Yeah.
Because they were 100, right?
But these look a bit more high quality, if I may.
They do. They look more of
But
like
this is just rendering, or is it? No, this is render, right?
I don't know. I
And
actually don't know.
if you'll notice, they have a Topra 6U
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
with Topra
they do.
stabilize.
Okay, that's pretty
honestly,
fucking cool. That's awesome.
That is really cool. That is something. Okay, just for that, I would buy it, and probably only that. Well, not that I have like an MX style like modded Topper board anymore, but
it's Hungary. That makes sense, I guess. Yeah.
I wonder if he can make us a 3.25 Mistel Barocco space bars.
Now the question that DD's asked is it worth the 70? And Oztech has said no. Now, what do you guys think? Is it, or is it not worth the 70?
I mean, it does tie the set together really nicely. So if you're already going in for extra kits and stuff like that, like it would really complement it. But I mean, on the other hand, just the standard spacebar would suffice. So it's not like you need it. It's just the same as buying the novelty pack. It's basically flashing your set a bit up, upgrading a bit. I do think in the aftermarket that you will have some extra value getting from it, because I don't think a lot of people will actually go for it. No, I'm not gonna do. But like, if you would like have some trading stuff, a spacebar like that, I don't think a lot of people are gonna get it. Like, and a lot of people are getting SA carbon. So
Well, at the moment, it's 176 purchased. Now,
that's not a lot.
No, it's not compared to 7,000. I mean, okay,
Yeah.
but that includes child sets, so that's slightly different. However, what I do want to point out to people is that, especially if you look at this picture, it has a clear, thick top layer. It's not a cap that appears to be that beige alpha color right at the top surface. Okay.
Not right at the top surface. No, it's like the underlaying, the base of the keycap.
So the actual beige keycap appears to be encapsulated is probably the best way of describing it. So if that's going to change the way that your actual keyboard and keycap set looks, that's something to consider. Okay, that's something that you have to really take into consideration because it won't look the same. Where you angle view it from and stuff like that, and the feel of it, because it's going to be this clear whatever that material is, as opposed to the ABS plastic of your keycaps. So
All right,
yeah.
Quick little interruption. I gotta take off.
All right.
The next 2 weeks, I'm not. It's undecided if I will be there, but I will be providing extra content, at least 1 or 2 episodes, hopefully 3. So stay tuned for that. And
Under promise, over deliver.
yeah, at Zaiqian, Jomo Kwaila, Wodapangyo.
All right. Well, thanks for coming along this weekend, Kevin.
All right, have a good one.
Yeah, we'll catch you when we catch you. Is he gone?
I think he's gone.
Is he gone?
Yeah, he's muted.
He's gone.
He's gone. He's gone. Okay. Anywho.
I'm going to interject quickly and say that I just tried to moving your cursor on my screen, Don.
Who puts his cursor there?
So Oztech is like, somebody was saying that Didi said that it was inboxed in the comments that it was 4-shot cast, and Oztech is saying like, wow, it's 4 shots, so I guess the cost represents how long it took to make. Sure, I get that, I appreciate that, but it's really, as a artisan product, it does always come back to if you value it at that price, right? I mean,
yeah, it's all personal in that perspective.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're spending $300 creating a carbon set keyboard, and then you see the spacebar, now it becomes $370. Do you have that extra 70, or are you forever ruined because you don't have it? I don't know. It's very much a personal preference type of thing.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's personal for sure, and like the big part here is it is an artisan. It is not an actual part of the set. That's a big key thing to note on it.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else that you guys want to sort of talk about before I sort of say a couple of final things?
No, I'm pretty good actually.
Did anyone mention Zorb's fundraiser that he did?
I
just wrapped up. He just wrapped up his pre-summer charity raffle, and he raised $7,420 towards a Bolivian charity of, I forget what it was exactly. Let me just bring up the thread. That way I can inform properly. Yeah,
please stand by.
It's to an orphanage in Bolivia, so it was $7,200 or $7,420.
But didn't he do this a while ago, or was this being continued?
He does this.
It was open for it was open for like 2 weeks, I think.
No, it was open. It was a 48-hour thing. It was this week.
48 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's done this before for the.
He's done this before. He's
Yeah.
done this multiple times in the past. I think 2 or 3 times in the
I
past.
can at least recall 3 times.
Okay.
But he just wrapped up his most recent one here, and I guess just as a congratulations to Zorb and everyone who entered, $7,420 towards an orphanage. That sounds like a good money well spent.
I mean, in Bolivia, that would go a very long way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Zorb's a pretty cool guy. Like, I haven't had a lot of communications with him, but I can tell you he is a mean player on Battlegrounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't back down. Oh no.
He's pretty chill, and he likes sitting around in bathtubs. So in battlegrounds, that is, not necessarily in real life.
No, that's Devin in real life.
With his pandas.
Oh god. All right,
Oh.
drifting off. Drifting
All right,
off
so
the bathtub.
now I do want to just wrap up, and I do want to talk about some things that are obviously coming up. Sydney meetup is now only 4 weeks away. So 4 weeks is a very, very short period of time. And Tay Keyboards have been really instrumental in helping us out with the meetup because they have obviously connections with a lot of the OEMs. And as those who are on the stream can see, I had a conversation with Mendez, which is the person who runs Tay Keyboards. And as you can see, Tesoro are providing an Excalibur SE Spectrum to raffle away at the meetup, which is amazing. So thank you so much to Tesoro Gaming Gear for providing that keyboard. But that's not all, folks, because not only did Andrew manage to get that, Vortex have gone big. And, you know, these guys, they've been putting out some great keyboards this year, really exciting stuff. And they've really decided to come to the party hard because they're actually providing a Poker 3, a Poker 3 RGB, and a Vortex Core for the Sydney meetup, as well as their brand new Race 3 keyboard, which is going to Syra, who's organizing the Perth meetup the following day on the same weekend. So, you know, I cannot thank Mendez enough for all the work that is done to be able to support the actual meetup here in Sydney, as well as a huge thanks to Vortex Gear as well for coming on board with such great keyboards and being so generous as well. So, you know, so far, I've just chucked the banner up here. Thank you to Outrage Pudding for spending a lot of the time in actually getting our graphics works down, including the meetup logo, which actually has turned out fantastic so far on the keycaps that Idea 23 have produced for us. Which we have limited numbers of, which will be raffled as well. And yeah, meetup is looking fantastic because right now we have 6 keyboards that are actually being raffled. Now, Yoris, how many keyboards did you guys have at the EU meetup? Oh, his microphone's off. He's muted.
No. I'm here. Well, we had the last Nova Touch.
Oh.
Yeah. So come at me now, bro.
Quality over quantity, huh?
I guess not. I mean, the Vortex stuff is great. I think we had like three or four, and one was like auctioned.
Okay.
I don't know, but yeah, it was. This is definitely more. This is really cool of them to step in there.
And
also, just a sponsor list.
It's huge. It's huge.
It's absolutely
huge.
massive. And you know, so yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing some more stuff come from our different sponsors who haven't already. And of course, if you haven't actually checked out the little short videos that I've been doing and reviewing as stuff has been coming in, please do, because we do have a playlist for that as well on our YouTube channel. Especially for Leandrin and Mechanisk, who sent us those brass 60% universal plates, as well as that Nerd 60 plate and PCB. Like, completely blown away. And they look amazing. And you know, the patches from Jay Godinez have come in, which is also absolutely amazing. The USB cables from Juju Cables, so one of them was like a black and rainbow one, and the other one, which was a green one, I'd mistakenly said that it was Tex Flex, but it's actually double sleeve PET. And it's amazing because when you feel it, the plastic seems really thick, and I thought it'd be really stiff, but it's so supple in regards to how you can flex it, and it doesn't, like, you know, spring away from you kind of thing. And yeah, would be a great complement to any keyboard.
We have Juju cables in the chat currently as well.
We do.
Just figured I'd point that out.
The problem, of course, is, you know, with social media, everyone has different names on different platforms.
I know.
So yeah. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for now. And of course, if you don't know what I'm talking about with the Sydney meetup and you are in Sydney or you're in within travel distance, because I got one guy who's flying up from Melbourne to come to the meetup, and I got guys who are driving over an hour away from outside of Sydney to come to this meetup. Please check out the details. We will, of course, have the links. They are in RMK up the top in the sort of upcoming meetup section. And the only way that you can win any of the goodies that are coming is through raffle tickets. Pre-registration gets you 1 raffle ticket for free. If you pre-buy your tickets before the meetup, you'll get 2 for 1. And of course, there'll be tickets available to buy on the day. Let's make it a big one. Make it a big meetup. All right. I think we've had a pretty good session today. Always enjoy having everyone coming along and checking out a live stream and being able to say stuff and whatnot. Give us questions and comments and so forth, sharing their views and thoughts. And of course, it's always lovely to have both Gabe and Joris actually join us for once when they wake up on time or aren't busy out running marathons and things like that you've been doing lately. So
No. Yeah, that was just once. All the other times I was just like forgetting it and then out
having
and about.
beers and things like that.
Out and trying to say I have a social life while in reality. No, okay.
All right. Well, I think we're going to call it there, which is great. Thank you very much for everyone coming along. And of course, if you're listening to this on podcast, if you do actually want to see the stuff, you can always head to the channel and rewatch the stream, skip through bits however you like, because it will be available at some point after YouTube encodes and releases it. Alrighty. So, with that, I think we're going to call it a day. As usual, of course. Until next time, happy clacking.